Before I dive in, I want to address because you probably noticed the new cover for the podcast. Yes, and a new name too, huh? Small Business, Big Money, Dream Life. Yes. And the reason for that is I've been working this whole year and developing a course, developing a program that I could take entrepreneurs, small business owners, and get them to elevate their businesses so that they can live their dream life, so that they can have financial freedom. I am convinced because I've proved it that you could take a small business, become a multimillionaire, have the total freedom that you want. And that's what I'm constantly pushing. Now, everything I've talked about leading up to this, yes, you can apply it to your life if you're not a business owner, and you can still continue to listen to this and apply everything that I talk about into your life, even if you don't own a business. Here's why I encourage people to own a business. Um, when you work for a paycheck, you have a single point of failure. In other words, you have one source of income. That's it. It's you have to produce the work and you get a paycheck and you don't really control how much your paycheck is. So you're very limited. And the thing about life is nobody plans for the plans to not go as planned. And that's a problem. I mean, if everybody was able to predict their future, it wouldn't be a problem. However, humans are awful at predicting their future. Did you know that less than 30% of people who have a college degree do not work in the field that they have a college degree in? Yeah, they paid a ton of money to go to college, saying this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, only to not do it, right? Because again, we are awful predictors of our future. We don't plan for things to go bad. Most people don't live with a margin of error, which is completely crazy to me. And that said, you can call it like an emergency fund or a fallback fund or something like that. That's a margin of error. When I make investments, I look at what is the margin of error because it never comes out as exactly as you think. Now, being an entrepreneur and being able to run a small business, I've opened several small businesses and I can turn any business into success. It doesn't matter the industry. It doesn't. If you are in business, you can turn it into a huge success. Every single big business started small. I encourage people to go in the business because the truth is, I would rather take a risk and fail than not take a risk and fail. And you're like, Steve, what do you mean? Not take a risk and fail? Did you know that 95% of the US population cannot retire the way they thought? Only 5% can. 1% can continue to live an extravagant life. 4% can keep the lifestyle they have. 95% either don't make it to retirement, they have to continue working, they have to rely on a family member. They don't get to enjoy the retirement that they've worked their whole life for. And that's most people who are employed, right? So I encourage people to start a business. And ultimately, people want to retire. Ultimately, people want to enjoy life. And retirement is what? Doing what you want. I say, don't wait for retirement. Do that now, right? Retirement is you don't have to go into work. I say, do that now. Don't go into work now, right? And the only way you're not going to go to work is if you own the business. Because you're an employee, you don't go into work. Let me tell you, you're not getting a paycheck. But when you own a business, when you're an operator, when you're an entrepreneur, I love having employees. And I know right now it is 2:40 in the afternoon and my employees are working their butts off for me. And here I am sitting in my office about 10 miles away recording a podcast. I went and met with them earlier. I had my morning meetings, two of them, and then I go on my way. So you notice the change in the cover. And that's simply because I'm focusing more on people who want to be an entrepreneur, have that entrepreneurial mind, people who are entrepreneurs, people who own businesses, people who open up a business with a dream. And then I want to help them fulfill that dream. Right? I am living proof that you could take a small business, you could take any business, you could be an entrepreneur and turn it into a dream life that you want. So this is why I do this podcast. This is why you've seen a new cover change. I promise the cover won't be changing anytime soon. I've put a lot of thought into this. I've had a lot of creative meetings with my circle, with my crew, with my employees, with my team members, and this is the direction that I'm going. I want to help people, and I can't help you go in and ask for a raise. I mean, I can actually. I did a podcast on how to actually ask for a raise, but I can help you take any small business, and I don't care what business it is. Like I turn them around and crank them up, right? Get them to make money, right? That's the whole purpose of going into business, wasn't it? So you can make money, and that allows you the freedom that you want. Now, I can tell you this before I sign off. I'm sitting at a different spot. Like if you're watching this video, I'm not sitting at my collaboration table. I'm actually sitting in my, I don't know, living room area of my office, I guess you want to call it. And this is a great space to do interviews. Yes, I'm going to start interviewing entrepreneurs, interviewing business people, interviewing business owners. And hopefully they keep adding insight to help you, the listener, get to the life you want, because ultimately that's the goal.